Hey guys, Sean Wyman here. I hope you are having an amazing day today. My day has been very eventful to say the least. Trying to come up with great topics for you guys as far as different things that I wanted to talk about over the next 30 days. And just to recap a little bit about what we went over last night. We talked about don't let your past circumstances dictate your future. And, if you didn't check that video out, make sure you go back and check that video out because I shared a little bit about my childhood and my background as far as where I'm coming from there. And tonight, I'm going to share another experience with you that I believe has really helped me to understand that this is a true calling that I'm on to try to connect with people like you out there. Okay? Now, my goal is simple, all right? I want to help people, all right? There is no scam here. There is no false pretenses. My name's Sean Wyman, and I am who I am, okay? You're either going to love me or you're going to hate me, there's no in between. I believe I have great value to offer. I've been through a lot of experiences in my life, and I can help you to get through the challenges that you face when you're dealing with your personal life and your professional life. And that's exactly what my goal is to help people. I feel like that's what I've been called to do, and that's why I'm here. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk tonight about another chapter in my life. Because again, I wanted to give you guys small pieces. You don't eat an elephant all at once, right? You eat it one piece at a time. So I didn't want to try to give you all these experiences and, verbally just, overwhelm you with a bunch of information and not be able to really reciprocate it. All right. So what I want to talk about tonight, though, is another thing that really impacted my life and has really directed me towards where I'm at now. Okay. And what I want to share with you tonight is when I was in the Army, I was in the Army for 8 years. And I'm proud to say that I'm a military veteran. If you're a military veteran, you're watching this, thank you so much for your dedication to service and your honor and for protecting our freedoms in this great nation that we live in the United States of America. It is an honor to have you, and I hope that I'm able to connect with you now and in the future, okay? Now, that being said, I was an airborne ranger for 8 years, but that almost didn't happen. Matter of fact, life as I know it almost ended during my time in Ranger School. Now, there's 4 different phases that you used to have to go through in Ranger School. I'm pretty sure it's evolved. It's changed quite a bit since I went through in '94. But when I went through, there was a situation where basically I almost died. All right. I was about 115 pounds soaking wet. We were in the final phase of Ranger School. And we're going through the, it's called jungle phase, okay? If you can imagine a 115, 120-pound kid, because I was about 20, 21 at the time. Matter of fact, I was 21. And walking with about an 85-pound rucksack on my back, right? So I'm walking with this rucksack. And then in front of me, for all you military buffs, I had an M60 machine gun, okay? Now, we ended up going over this river. It's called Yellow River. We did this rope bridge crossing. We got across. And the guy that was on point, God bless his soul, he just ended up going the wrong direction that night. And for whatever reason, we ended up in the nastiest, thickest place you could think of. And I ended up tripping and falling. The rucksack slammed down against my neck, and it pinched a nerve in my neck. Okay? So I was basically paralyzed from the neck down, and it was very scary. To say the least. Here I am, I'm in Ranger School, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and now I can't move from the neck down. All right. So they decided to medical evac me because it was the only way for them to figure out what was wrong with me. So back then they had the helicopter that came in. They had to clear out a landing area. Well, it was so thick they couldn't get a helicopter to land. So what they did was they were going to bring a litter down, and they were going to put me in this litter. And the way these litters used to be designed is they had a guide line and an anchor line. Well, for whatever reason that night, one of the two wasn't attached right. And as the litter went up with me strapped inside of it, the helicopter, imagine if you will, is probably about, and I'm guessing, I don't know exactly how high it was, but if I had to guess, it's probably about, 50 feet off the ground or so. And this litter is literally, being elevated up to the helicopter. Now, as it's being elevated up, I end up bumping a tree, the guideline or the anchor line. I'm not sure which one it was, but one of them breaks off. And I start traversing around and around and around and around. Now, anybody that knows anything about physics, which at the time I really didn't know a whole lot, all I knew was I was scared to death and I was watching my life flash before my eyes. I grabbed on as tight as I possibly could. I hung on for dear life, and I screamed for my mother that night. I was terrified. Now, I was spinning and traversing in the air for over 15 minutes. All the gravitational pull of blood went from my head, or went to my head, blew all the blood vessels in my eyes and in my head, and I was a wreck. Now, the last thing I remember, it took 15 minutes to get me into that helicopter. 15 minutes. And the last thing I remember before I went unconscious was, as I got in the helicopter, somebody grabbed my hand and they said, if you can hear me, just squeeze my hand. And I grabbed that hand for dear life, and I tried to squeeze it as hard as I could, and I passed out. Now, for whatever reason, God's grace was on me that night, and when I woke up, these nurses were, they were trying to cut off my gear and everything, and they were joking about how bad I smelled because I'd been out in the field for a while, so I was pretty ripe, if you know what I mean. And I just remember, I remember it like it was yesterday. I woke up, and honestly, it's just the craziest thing, man. I thought I had died. I genuinely thought I had died. So for me, that moment was a pivotal moment in my life because I realized then, and here's the tip. I know I've gone a little ways here to get to the point, but here's the point if you'll pay attention, okay? Life is short, okay? Even if you live 85, 90 years, it's short because it goes so fast. And tomorrow is not promised to us. So we have to treat every day like it's our last. Because, we make the mistake of going out there and thinking, oh, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll get to that tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. You understand that, right? Tomorrow is not promised. I'm living proof of that because genuinely, I thought I wasn't going to see tomorrow when I went unconscious that night. Now, maybe you can relate to me. Maybe you've had your own near-death experience. But it doesn't take a near-death experience to change your mindset to start focusing on what you say you'll do tomorrow. Start doing it today. Don't put things off. Do them when they need to be done. Don't say, oh, well, I could do it, but I'll do it tomorrow because tomorrow may not come. All right. So, guys, that is my tip for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you. My name is Sean Wyman. My goal is to be a game changer 24/7, helping people in their personal and professional life. God bless you all. Until we meet again, have a great night.